Good morning. Hello, my name's Ian Dainty, and I want to talk to you about the webinar I'm running on Thursday, August 11th at noon Eastern Daylight Time. I hope you enjoyed the previous two videos. They were full of content you can use immediately to gain a revenue leap in your business. First off, I want to make you a promise. If you watch this video and take part in the webinar, and I put everything I teach you in the webinar into practice, there's an excellent chance your company sales will see a revenue leap. Others who have followed the recipe I will show you on Thursday have increased their revenues anywhere from 25 to 100% in 1 year and as much as 200% over 2 years over what they predicted by putting this knowledge into practice. I know that's a big promise, but I really believe that this will help you, and these results have happened in the past. So what is it that you'll learn in this webinar to be able to make you do this? Well, let's have a look as we go through this video. But first, let me explain a definition that I use that may not be quite familiar with you and why I use it. It's clients versus customers. What should you call the people that buy from you? Should you call them clients or customers? Most B2B service companies call them clients, and most product companies call them customers. I like to use the word client instead of customer. It helps to avoid the cumbersome phrase clients and/or customers that you see many people use. Also, there's a massive difference in the meaning of the two words. Webster's Dictionary shows a differentiation below. Let's have a look. Webster's Dictionary defines a client as one that is under the protection of another. Now, isn't that pretty good? If you have a client, he's under your protection. Where Webster's also defines a customer as one that purchases a commodity or product. So it's just a purchaser where the other was under your protection. So as you can see from these definitions, there is a substantial difference in the way a person or a company that does business with you should be treated. Even if these people are called customers in your marketplace or industry, always think of them as clients, but more particularly under your protection and the value you're delivering them, which we'll talk about today. So let me give you a little background on me, and so you can understand why I have been able to help other companies, as well as my own companies, achieve these results. There I am in my smiley suit, my smiley face, and my blue suit. That's me with my smiley face on, as I said, and I started my business career at IBM. I have started, grown, and operated and successfully sold 2 businesses. They were both technology-related B2B companies. But it wasn't easy starting a business, and I struggled like crazy to get it off the ground, maybe like you have. I've never owned a business. When I started my first business, I'd been a sales guy from IBM, but that hadn't prepared me for getting and starting a new business. When you phone someone up and tell her you're from IBM, there's an excellent chance you get an appointment. You almost always get one. But when you phone somebody up and tell them you're from Albion Computer Systems, which was the name of my very first company, there's very little chance you'll get an appointment. So I had to learn an awful lot of new things to get my first business going. Because it was in the 80s, and the only tools we had were mailings and the phone, I had to learn how to do marketing as opposed to sales, which I hadn't done at IBM. All I did was be a sales guy. And I learned much of it the hard way, by getting told they didn't want to see me. So what did I do? I studied and I researched and I interviewed and I talked to people, and with much trial and error on my part and much lost business, I finally got it to click. But it wasn't easy, and it took a long time. There were very few people, if any people, teaching this back then. What's the difference between marketing and sales, and how do you bring people in? And if they were teaching it, it was a very expensive proposition to take the course or program that they ran. You had to pay for the course in advance, usually about $5,000, and then there was the travel, the hotel rooms, meals and taxis. It was very expensive. There was no way that you did it over the internet. It didn't even exist then, never mind having webinars. And of course, with the advent of the internet, marketing in particular has changed dramatically. So I've been researching, as well as coaching and learning a lot, and using many new tools and practices that were not even available to me back then, as I mentioned. And I've been putting these new tools and techniques into practice in my coaching company, and also with my clients. So I'm doing it in my own company as well as with my clients. So what I want you to know is that I've been where you are. I know the frustrations and disappointments you go through when you don't get results. And on Thursday, I want to show you how you too can get a revenue leap in results by following the methods I will teach you. As mentioned, in the past decade, I've devoted myself to teaching and coaching other B2B people, salespeople and marketers, business owners, entrepreneurs and consultants, in how to market and sell to their prospect and customer base. And I've been asked by many of my clients, why don't I put together a webinar teaching the techniques and practices I know that work, so that others can increase their revenues also, people like you. So that's what I'm doing on Thursday, August 11th at noon. But before you rush off and sign up right away, let me tell you a little bit about the webinar and the benefits you will receive by taking it. Let's look at the results others have received by my coaching, and some of the results you can expect by putting the things I teach you in the webinar into practice. Some of the benefits you will get include reducing your sales cycle. This is one of the greatest areas that people are trying to do all the time. Stop chasing dead leads. CSO Insights stated that only 44% of supposedly qualified leads that we're going to closed by the end of 2010. Understanding the entire B2B buying process. There are 5 steps that people go through, and most people don't understand them and therefore waste a lot of time marketing to people. You need to know who makes the decisions in a B2B sale and why and how they make those decisions, which is what I'm going to teach you. You need to know the different methods you can use to bring in more business, and I'm going to go through over a dozen of these. You need to know how to develop B2B relationships that last and will allow you to charge higher prices for your products and services, so you can charge on value instead of cost plus, and plus you'll get many, many more benefits by watching this, by attending this webinar on Thursday. And of course, the main benefit of all of this is that you will close more business sooner and gain more revenue, more income, and more profits. That's what I want you to know. You're going to get more money by putting these things I'm going to teach you on Thursday into practice. But you don't have to take my word for all of this. Here's what 3 people had to say about my past webinars and coaching. Barbara Strangfeld: I found your methodology very concrete and real world, certainly a refreshing change from all the jargon one usually runs into. You're going to get real world, concrete methodologies. Jack Howard said to me, it's the best money I ever spent on coaching, and I hope you'll feel the same way. Rich Williams said, I highly recommend Ian if you are struggling with sales and marketing issues and looking for some guidance to kickstart your business. And many of us and many people are doing this, particularly what's going on in the world right now, the U.S. debt crisis and what's going on in Europe. Many people are struggling. You need something to help you kickstart how to understand how people buy. These are just a few of the testimonials we received, and I believe you will feel the same way after you take this webinar. So what exactly will you learn in this webinar on Thursday? Well, let's look at all 9 topics and what each one covers. The first topic we'll look at is understanding your target market and why it is very important to focus on one market as opposed to more than one. Now, you may have seen this before, but I want to talk about this because it is key. Next, we'll look at what products and or services you should give to your market and how you should find the right ones. Notice that I say we'll look at your market first and then decide on the product or service next. This is key. Most people do it in reverse. I'm going to make a product and sell it, and we'll tell you why that's wrong on Thursday. In topic 3, we'll look at your unique value proposition, or what I call your UVP. Many people call this a unique selling proposition, but selling to me is internal. Well, value is what you bring to your client. And I'll show you how to develop a UVP that will allow you to bring in more revenue and profit. And when developed properly, it will also allow you to charge more for your products and services. You want to sell on value, not on features, which almost 99% of your competition will do. Topic 4, we'll discuss the 4 decision makers that will influence any B2B sale. These are important. You may have seen them before, but I have some new information that is vital, especially for these tough economic times. 5th, we'll look at the 5 stages that buyers go through in making a B2B buying decision. I mentioned this earlier, and it's important. You need to know this. 6th, then I want to review the 5 reasons that B2B companies buy and how you can influence these reasons and bring them into your UVP. These are very important, and almost everyone leaves these out when trying to sell his or her products and services because they sell features and not value, and I'm going to show you how to bring value to your clients. Then we will discuss the 4 factors that go into lead generation. One of the factors is lead qualification, an area where almost all B2B marketers fail, and salespeople and entrepreneurs and business people, they almost all fail in this. You will learn how to qualify properly through my new methodology, the game plan, and the game plan is an acronym. The game plan delves into the personal side of B2B buying, which over 90% of B2B salespeople omit. Not just salespeople, but most people omit in a B2B situation, usually because they don't know how to draw out the personal side. But almost all B2B sales have an emotional and personal side to them, and we'll talk about that and why this is so important and show you how to draw out this emotional side. In topic 8, we'll discuss the many different ways you can develop leads. This will include social media and my take on social media in the B2B world, as well as over a dozen other methods you can use to develop leads. And we'll wrap up the webinar with topic 9 with the building blocks of a great marketing. What are the building blocks of great marketing? You will learn how to develop trust with your prospects and clients, because people won't buy from you until they trust you, and that you will deliver what you promise. So that's the format and deliverables you will have. As you can see, there's a lot of valuable content you will learn. And when you put it all into practice, you really can deliver quite a revenue leap to your business. I'm sure you're wondering what all of this will cost. Well, if you're going to deliver a revenue of 25 to 100% this year, and possibly up to 200% next year, you'd think it might cost a lot. And as I mentioned, many people pay over $5,000 for this type of knowledge. And in the past, I've delivered webinars and online training for over $1,000. But I want you to join me for this. And I want you to get this knowledge for a price you cannot get anywhere else and that you can afford. If you follow any of the so-called online marketing gurus lately, you will see they are charging anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 for their courses. But this is my first time delivering this course through a webinar, and I want as many people as possible to get this knowledge. I think it's important, particularly in these tough economic times. As I mentioned, we have been hearing lately. And I want to make it affordable to everyone. And more importantly, I want you to have this knowledge so you can beat your competition and help your new and existing clients build their businesses with your valuable products and services. Your investment for this webinar and all of the knowledge you will gain from it and all the benefits you'll get is only $197. That's it. The program will take 2 hours of your time, and you will come away from the webinar with all of the tools and methods you need to give your company and your earnings a revenue leap. The 2 hours will include about 90 minutes to 100 minutes of content plus questions and answers. And better still, I always guarantee my work. If you go through the webinar and put what you learn into practice and you don't get any increase in your revenues or earnings, then I will give you a full refund for up to 1 year after the program. So you've got a full year to put this into practice. If you don't get your money out of it, at least your money out of it, you don't get a revenue leap, then I'll give you your full money back. Nowhere else can you get a guarantee like that. And so you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Simply click on the button below and you can pay for the webinar and automatically get registered, and after Thursday you can start seeing a revenue leap in your business and more importantly in your earnings. Thanks for watching. I look forward to meeting you again on Thursday at noon Eastern Daylight Time. Please check your own time zones for that, and please register by clicking the button below now. Thanks. I look forward to seeing you Thursday. Please click the button.